humanity teeters on the brink of annihilation. Once confined to Earth's boundaries, humankind's ambition and ingenuity carried it to the stars. But what awaited in the void was no frontier to tame, but a predator, the Zarenth Dominion. Their empire, ancient and unyielding, spans hundreds of systems. They do not negotiate, they conquer. For decades, humanity has resisted, clawing for survival against an enemy that is faster, smarter, and bound together by an unfathomable weapon, a hive mind that makes their collective will unbreakable. The Dominion's strength lies in unity, its every soldier a fragment of the greater Overmind, a pulsating, bioorganic consciousness buried deep within the heart of Arcani's prime. Every strategy, every battle, flows from this singular intelligence. To sever the Overmind would be to blind the beast. And yet, the Overmind is untouchable, hidden behind layers of psychic energy, alien fortifications, and a legion of elite Zarenth guardians. Against this overwhelming force, humanity's hopes rest on one individual, a sniper whose name is unknown, whose face is forgotten, and whose actions have become legend. They call them Spectre. A shadow in the void, Spectre is a lone operator, striking with a precision and stealth that no machine could replicate. Alone, they've dismantled battalions, sabotaged fleets, and disrupted Zarenth incursions. Spectre's neural implants enhance their reflexes to superhuman levels, while their adaptive rifle is an extension of their will. But they are still human, haunted by the weight of impossible missions and the memories of Earth's scars. For the Zarenth, humanity is an annoyance, but for Spectre, the Zarenth are a personal vendetta. Somewhere in the Dominion's relentless advance, they lost something, or someone, that can never be replaced. And so, when humanity's high command calls for volunteers for a mission no one believes can succeed, Spectre steps forward without hesitation. The Zarenth Dominion rules the stars through fear and power, but humanity fights with its greatest weapon, ingenuity. Stripped of psychic unity, humans have relied on their creativity to survive. They've developed stealth modules that render ships invisible to Zarenth scans, neural targeting systems that make a sniper's aim unerring, and adaptive weapons capable of breaking through alien defenses. These tools are their lifeline, though they pale against the overwhelming force of the Zarenth's advanced biomechanical technology. But humanity's true innovation lies in its will to resist. No other species has challenged the Zarenth Dominion for so long. Yet resistance has come at a cost: cities burned, colonies lost, and billions sacrificed. Earth itself remains scarred, its atmosphere pockmarked with the remnants of orbital bombardments. For humans, survival is not guaranteed, it is a choice, a defiance etched into the DNA of every soldier, every pilot, and every operator. The Zarenth, by contrast, are bound by their hive mind. The Overmind is their strength, and their weakness. Through it, every Zarenth soldier acts with perfect coordination. But this unity strips them of individual thought. To be Zarenth is to be part of a singular, overwhelming will. The ruling caste, tall, insectal beings with glowing eyes, revere the Overmind as a god, and their telepathic power makes them nearly unstoppable in battle. The humans who face them feel their thoughts unravel, their fears laid bare under psychic assault. Only operators like Spectre, with neural enhancements and iron will, can endure. When Spectre receives the mission briefing, the weight of its implications is staggering. The Overmind has been located on Arcani's prime, the beating heart of the Zarenth Dominion. The intelligence is clear: a sniper's bullet, if it can penetrate the Overmind's psychic defenses, would sever the hive-mind connection and plunge the Dominion into chaos. But reaching Arcani's prime is an undertaking no one believes possible. The planet is deep in enemy space, its orbit guarded by fleets, its surface crawling with elite Zarenth forces. The mission is laid out in stark, unvarnished terms. Infiltration requires evading entire squadrons of Dominion ships, navigating a labyrinth of alien fortifications, and surviving the Overmind's psychic onslaught. The odds of success are infinitesimal, the odds of survival even less. Yet, for humanity, this is the only chance to end the war. Spectre's acceptance is swift, almost too swift. Those who brief them sense the resolve in their silence, but they cannot know the deeper truth. For Spectre, this mission is more than duty, it is retribution. The Zarenth took everything from them, and in this moment, their vendetta aligns perfectly with humanity's desperate hope. With a single nod, Spectre commits to what may be their final mission. As the briefing ends, the room is filled with a profound silence. Humanity's leaders know what they've asked. Spectre knows what they've agreed to. And in the stillness, one thought echoes unspoken: a single shot could end an empire, but only if the one who takes it survives. The mission begins with silence. Alone in a dimly lit chamber aboard a secure human station, Spectre prepares. Their hands move with mechanical precision, assembling the components of a weapon unlike any other, a prototype sniper rifle, custom built for this mission. The rifle's sleek frame hums faintly as it activates, its neural interface syncing with Spectre's implants. This weapon isn't just a tool, it's the culmination of humanity's desperate ingenuity. Its rounds are designed to bypass the Zarenth's psychic barriers, piercing both matter and mind. Nearby lies a stealth suit, the second half of Spectre's arsenal. Made of adaptive fabric, it bends light and heat, rendering the wearer nearly invisible. It doesn't just conceal, it erases, creating a ghost that even the Zarenth's advanced sensors struggle to detect. As Spectre dons the suit, they become the mission itself, silent, precise, unstoppable. Yet beneath the stoic exterior lies a storm. Memories surface unbidden, images of Earth's once thriving cities reduced to rubble, of friends and comrades lost to the Zarenth's merciless advance. These memories drive Spectre, sharpening their resolve. There's no room for fear, only focus. Every action, every thought is channeled toward one goal: the Overmind must fall. As the final preparations are made, Spectre boards the Eclipse 7, a stealth ship designed for deep infiltration. The crew, hardened veterans of the war, say nothing as Spectre passes. They know the stakes, and they know this mission is one way. In the dim glow of the ship's cockpit, the captain issues a single command: engage stealth drive. The ship disappears into the void, slipping into Zarenth-controlled space. The Eclipse 7 is a marvel of human engineering, its hull coated with tech that absorbs scans and distorts energy signatures. But stealth isn't invincibility. The Zarenth patrol the sector relentlessly, their drones forming a near-impenetrable net. Each drone is a fusion of machine and organism, bristling with bioengineered weaponry and equipped with telepathic sensors. The crew maintains strict silence, every movement calculated to minimize risk. Spectre watches from the shadows, their eyes scanning the holographic map projected in front of them. Then, an alert, faint vibrations ripple through the ship as a Zarenth drone swarm adjusts course. They've sensed something. The Eclipse 7's pilot responds instantly, initiating evasive maneuvers. The ship dives into the debris field of a shattered moon, its sleek frame weaving through jagged fragments of rock and metal. The drones follow, their movements eerily coordinated. The tension in the cabin is suffocating. Spectre's neural implants enhance their perception, slowing time as they analyze the threat. Then, an opportunity, a narrow asteroid tunnel, too small for the drones to navigate. With a sharp command, the captain orders the ship through. The Eclipse 7 schemes the edges of the tunnel, its shields crackling under the pressure. The drones hesitate, regrouping outside. For now, the ship is safe. But everyone aboard knows it's only a matter of time before the Zarenth adapt. After hours of harrowing maneuvers, the Eclipse 7 reaches its destination, the orbit of Arcanes Prime. Spectre moves to the drop pod bay, the hum of the ship fading as their focus narrows. The drop pod is a cocoon of reinforced alloy, designed for one purpose: delivering Spectre to the planet's surface undetected. The countdown begins, and in the final moments, Spectre closes their eyes. For a fleeting second, the memories return, the faces, the voices, the promise of a future stolen by the Zarenth. Then, the pod ejects, and the mission truly begins. Arcanes Prime looms below, a world unlike any other. Its atmosphere glows with a faint, shifting hue, a byproduct of the Overmind's psychic energy. Massive spires of biomechanical architecture rise from the planet's surface, their surfaces pulsating with an eerie organic light. The city sprawls in every direction, a labyrinth of alien design that feels alive, as if the planet itself breathes with the Overmind's will. Spectre's pod hurtles through the upper atmosphere, its stealth systems masking its descent. The pod lands with a muted thud in a shadowed corner of the metropolis, its adaptive exterior camouflaging it against the alien terrain. Spectre steps out, their suit blending seamlessly with the environment. Every movement is calculated, every step silent. The air is heavy, charged with the psychic hum of the overmind. Even through the neural dampeners in their suit, Spectre feels its presence, a pulsing rhythm that seems to probe at their thoughts, searching for cracks. They push the sensation aside and focus. The first obstacle is a patrol of Zaren's sentries, their forms tall and insectal, their glowing eyes scanning the area. Each wields a weapon that seems to grow from their very bodies, a seamless fusion of flesh and machine. Spectre activates the suit's cloaking system, becoming a faint shimmer in the air. They move with precision, slipping between shadows, using the alien architecture as cover. The sentries pass within meters, their movements unnervingly synchronized. Spectre holds their breath, waiting for the perfect moment to move. The path to the Overmind Citadel is treacherous, a maze of shifting walls and psychic traps. At one point, Spectre encounters a barrier of pulsating energy. With careful precision, they deploy a small device from their suit, a disruptor designed to neutralize the Zarantha's psychic technology. The barrier flickers and fades, allowing them to pass. As they near the outskirts of the Citadel, the Overmind's presence grows stronger. The hum becomes a roar, a tidal wave of psychic pressure that threatens to overwhelm even Spectre's enhanced mind. But they press on, their focus unyielding. Finally, Spectre reaches the edge of the Citadel. The structure towers above them, its surface a chaotic blend of metal and organic matter. The air around it crackles with energy, and the Overmind's psychic pulse reverberates through the ground. Spectre surveys the scene, calculating their next move. They've come this far, but the real challenge lies ahead. Every step has led to this moment. The Overmind waits, unaware of the shadow that now stalks its domain. For Spectre, there is no turning back. The mission is clear, the stakes absolute. One shot, one empire. The Citadel looms like a living, breathing entity. Its walls shift subtly, a disorienting mix of liquid metal and pulsating organic tissue. Lights glow faintly within its surface, giving the impression of veins coursing with energy. Every step Spectre takes is deliberate, their suits' camouflage blending perfectly with the alien surroundings. But the closer they get to the Overmind, the heavier the psychic pressure becomes, a throbbing presence in their mind that pushes against their defenses, whispering insecurities and dredging up buried fears. The Overmind's influence feels invasive, probing the edges of Spectre's thoughts like tendrils searching for a weakness. It manifests as fleeting images, earth in flames, comrades left behind, the faces of the lost. Each step requires focus, each breath a reminder of what's at stake. Spectre's neural implants work overtime, shielding them from the full brunt of the Overmind's psychic assault, but cracks are beginning to show. They force their thoughts back to the mission, grounding themselves in the precision of their movements, and the weight of the rifle on their back. The Citadel's corridors twist unpredictably, walls rearranging themselves into new formations. This is no ordinary fortress, it's alive, attuned to the Overmind's will. At one turn, Spectre freezes. A Zarenth warden, taller and more imposing than the average sentry, glides through the corridor ahead. Its shimmering carapace reflects the dim light, and its weapon, a living appendage fused to its arm, pulsates with energy. The warden pauses, its glowing eyes scanning the corridor. Spectre remains motionless, relying on their suit's invisibility and their own steady composure. The warden emits a low, resonant hum, the sound vibrating through the air like a predator calling out to prey. For a moment, it seems to linger, its psychic senses brushing against Spectre's position. Then, as if satisfied, it moves on. Only after the sound of its footsteps fades does Spectre exhale, their hand instinctively brushing against the disruptor on their belt. After what feels like an eternity, Spectre reaches a chamber overlooking the heart of the Citadel. Here, the Overmind lies exposed. Spectre ascends to a concealed perch high above the core chamber, each step slow and deliberate. The vantage point is perfect, but it comes with a horrifying view. The Overmind dominates the room below, a grotesque, pulsating mass of bioorganic tissue. Its surface shimmers with psychic energy, glowing faintly in time with its rhythmic, almost hypnotic pulses. Tendrils extend from its form, connecting to conduits that snake throughout the citadel. The air around it feels thick, vibrating with an energy that makes it hard to breathe. It's more than just a brain, it's the living embodiment of the Zarenth Dominion's collective will. The Overmind is not undefended. Encircling it are the Zarenth elites, the pinnacle of their warrior caste. Each stands motionless, as if in a trance, their glowing eyes fixed on the Overmind. Their weapons twitch as though alive, their forms bristling with deadly precision. Spectre studies them, counting their positions and analyzing potential movements. Any misstep now would mean instant death. Spectre begins the process of calibrating their rifle. The perch is stable, but the Overmind's pulsating aura creates constant interference. Neural targeting systems struggle to maintain focus as the psychic energy distorts readings. Spectre adjusts manually, recalibrating for atmospheric variables and accounting for the Citadel's slight gravitational distortions. Each adjustment is precise, methodical, but the pressure is immense. Inside their mind, the Overmind's whispers intensify. Doubts creep in, unbidden and unwelcome. What if the shot fails? What if the rifle can't pierce the defenses? What if humanity's hope dies here? Spectre's hands tremble for the briefest of moments before they grip the rifle tighter. Failure isn't an option. Billions of lives depend on this one shot, and the weight of that responsibility is suffocating. As Spectre lines up the target, time seems to slow. Their breath evens out, and the psychic noise fades to a dull hum. In this moment, there is no fear, no doubt, only the target. They focus on the Overmind's core, a faintly glowing center where all the energy converges. It's a small target, buried behind layers of psychic shielding and reinforced tissue, but it's the only shot that matters. Spectre's finger hovers over the trigger. Years of training culminate in this instant. They've made shots like this before, but none with stakes so high. A deep breath in. A pause. And then the trigger is pulled. The round exits the rifle, a streak of light cutting through the dense air. For a moment, the chamber seems to freeze. The Zarenth elites stir, their heads snapping toward the source of the disturbance, but it's already too late. The round strikes the Overmind's core, piercing through its protective layers. The initial impact is silent, almost anticlimactic. Then, the Overmind shudders violently, its pulsating glow flickering and fading. The psychic energy that once filled the room dissipates in an instant, replaced by a deafening, visceral roar that seems to emanate from the walls themselves. Chaos erupts. The Zarenth elites scream, their voices a twisted symphony of pain and confusion. Disconnected from the hive mind, their movements become erratic, their once perfect coordination shattered. Some collapse, clutching their heads, while others lash out blindly, their weapons discharging in uncontrolled bursts. Spectre watches for a brief moment, their breath caught in their chest. The Overmind, the heart of the Zarenth Dominion, is dead. But the mission isn't over yet. The Citadel is coming alive in its death throes, and the path to escape is anything but certain. The Overmind's destruction sends an immediate, violent ripple through Arcani's prime. The psychic storms unleashed in its absence roar through the city like tidal waves, tearing apart the fragile balance of its biomechanical structures. Towers collapse, spires shatter, and the living walls of the citadel writhe as though in agony. The Zarenth, once perfectly synchronized through the hive mind, are now a chaotic swarm of disoriented individuals. Spectre moves with precision, but even their advanced training is tested by the crumbling environment. The corridors, already labyrinthine, shift even more unpredictably as the citadel begins to collapse. The Overmind's death has destabilized the very foundation of the city. Psychic energy surges erratically, forming invisible walls of force that slam Spectre against the alien architecture. Behind them, enraged Zarenth warriors give chase. Without the hive mind, their coordination is gone, but their fury is unrelenting. They roar with primal rage, their glowing eyes now devoid of unity, burning only with personal vengeance. Their weapons, erratic and unpredictable without psychic control, tear apart the walls as they fire wildly. Spectre activates the stealth suit's cloaking mode, disappearing into the chaos. It buys them precious seconds, but the Overmind's lingering psychic energy interferes with the suit's systems, causing occasional flickers of visibility. Every step is a fight against the environment, and the hunters closing in. At one point, a collapsing bridge leaves Spectre stranded above a deep chasm. With no time to find an alternate route, they use their grappling module to swing across the gap, narrowly avoiding a falling section of the bridge as it crashes into the void below. The Zarenth are relentless, following with inhuman agility, their screams cutting through the chaos. Spectre's path leads them to the Citadel's hangar bay, where alien craft rest like dormant predators. The psychic storms have disrupted most of the ships, leaving only a few functional. Spectre sprints toward one, overriding its controls with a stolen Nero key. The Zarenth arrive just as the craft's systems power up, their weapons pounding against its hull as it lifts off. The stolen ship lurches forward, its controls alien and unresponsive, but Spectre wrestles it into the air. Below, Arcanis Prime continues to collapse, its skyline consumed by destruction. Psychic lightning arcs across the atmosphere, striking buildings and sending shockwaves through the ground. Spectre pulls the craft higher, breaking free of the chaos just as the Citadel's central tower crumbles in on itself. Above the planet, the devastation is even clearer. Massive energy surges ripple outward from Arcanis Prime, disrupting nearby Zarenth fleets. The alien Empire's ships, once coordinated with ruthless precision, veer erratically, colliding with one another or spinning helplessly in orbit. The narrator's voice shifts, pulling back to reveal the larger consequences of the Overmind's death. Across the galaxy, the Zarenth Dominion unravels. Without the psychic link binding them together, their vast empire fractures into disarray. Entire fleets lose cohesion, their ships turning against one another in confusion and panic. Planets once ruled with an iron grip find themselves suddenly free, their Zarenth overlords either retreating or falling into infighting. Humanity, battered but resilient, seizes the moment. For years they have fought against impossible odds, but now the tide has turned. Coordinated counterattacks reclaim lost colonies, and alliances with other alien species, long hesitant to challenge the Zarenth, begin to form. The galaxy, once overshadowed by the Dominion, experiences a flicker of hope. But the narrator reminds us, hope is fragile. The Zarenth are not entirely defeated, only fractured. Rogue factions rise, their leaders vying for dominance in the absence of the Overmind. For humanity, the opportunity for peace is tempered by the knowledge that the scars of war will not fade easily. The galaxy teeters on the edge of a new era, but the cost of freedom is steep. Inside the stolen craft, silence reigns. The hum of the alien engine is the only sound as Spectre pilots the ship through the void. Their hands tremble slightly, not from fear, but from exhaustion. The mission is over, but its weight remains. They glance at the controls, their reflection distorted in the smooth, metallic surface. The face staring back at them is unrecognizable, not from physical change, but from the toll the mission has taken. For the first time since the Overmind's death, Spectre allows themselves a moment of thought. The memory of the shot replays in their mind, but instead of triumph, it feels hollow. Billions of lives might have been saved, but how many were lost to bring them to this point? Comrades, friends, entire cities. The weight of their actions settles heavily. One shot ended an empire, but the cost echoes in their soul. The Overmind is gone, but the scars it left, on humanity, on the galaxy, on Spectre themselves, will never truly heal. Staring into the endless void of space, Spectre whispers a single thought, barely audible over the hum of the ship, **. One shot can end an empire, but it cannot end the scars it leaves behind. **. The stars stretch before them, endless and cold, as they disappear into the vast unknown. Earth stands on the brink of transformation. Across the planet, celebrations erupt in the wake of humanity's most decisive victory. Streets once darkened by fear now glow with fireworks and torchlight, and the faces of millions are illuminated with cautious hope. News broadcasts declare the downfall of the Zarenth Dominion, replaying visuals of their collapsing fleets and fractured armies. For the first time in years, humanity feels like more than mere survivors, they are victors. Yet beneath the jubilation, there is a heavy silence. The cost of survival hangs in the air, unspoken but omnipresent. Memorials to the fallen are erected alongside victory monuments, their names stretching endlessly into the sky. Families mourn those who will never return, and Earth's cities, still bearing the scars of war, stand as somber reminders of the price of resistance. In the shadows of these celebrations, the name, Spectre, becomes legend. Their actions are credited with turning the tide, the shot heard across the stars. Yet, no face or name accompanies the title. The sniper who felled an empire remains a ghost, their identity buried in classified files. Humanity, eager for a symbol, elevates Spectre to mythic status, a lone figure who carried the weight of a species on their shoulders. But questions linger. Has humanity's survival made it stronger, or has it merely revealed its capacity for ruthlessness? In destroying the Overmind, humanity proved it could wield immense power, but at what moral cost? The Zarenth were conquerors, but their hive mind also brought unity, stability, qualities humanity itself now struggles to maintain. The galaxy, once dominated by the Zarenth dominion, now lies in fractured disarray. The Overmind's death was not the end of conflict but the beginning of something far more unpredictable. Without their telepathic unity, the Zarenth splinter into factions, each led by self-proclaimed warlords. No longer bound by a shared purpose, they turn on one another in brutal power struggles. These fractured factions pose a new challenge for the galaxy. Some Zarenth warlords seek vengeance, launching sporadic raids against human colonies. Others attempt to forge alliances, but their motives remain suspect. Humanity, having fought for its very survival, now finds itself navigating a precarious new reality. The Zarenth are no longer an empire, but they are far from defeated. Meanwhile, other alien civilizations watch the unfolding chaos with a wary eye. Humanity, once a fledgling species, has emerged as a force to be reckoned with. Its ingenuity and resilience have allowed it to stand against one of the most dominant empires in the galaxy. But with this newfound power comes fear from others who wonder if humanity's rise will mirror the Zarentha's conquest. The seeds of future conflicts are sown in the uneasy alliances and mistrust spreading across the stars. Far from Earth and the celebrations, Spectre drifts through the void aboard their stolen Zarenth craft. They remain silent, their thoughts a storm of contradictions. Victory should feel like triumph, but instead, it feels hollow, heavy. The memories of the Overmind's death, the way its psychic energy screamed and shattered, still linger in their mind. Spectre knows they struck the blow that saved humanity, but they also know it unleashed chaos across the galaxy. As they navigate the uncharted stars, they think of the lives lost, the comrades who fought alongside them, the civilians who suffered under Zarenth rule. For every life saved, there is another that was taken. Spectre reflects on the cost of their actions, not just the physical toll, but the emotional and moral weight. They think of Earth, of its people celebrating a victory that came at the expense of their innocence. The ship's controls hum softly as Spectre gazes out at the infinite expanse. The stars stretch endlessly before them, each one a reminder of how vast and unforgiving the universe truly is. Somewhere, far behind them, humanity begins to rebuild, but Spectre knows their place is not among them. They are no hero, no savior. They are simply a soldier, a tool sharpened for a single purpose. And now, with that purpose fulfilled, they are untethered, adrift in a galaxy forever changed by their actions. The narrator's voice grows soft, reflective, as the story draws to a close. They speak not of the sniper or the Overmind, but of humanity itself. The story of humanity's survival is not one of weapons or technology, but of endurance. It is the ability to press forward, to adapt, to persist even in the face of impossible odds. But endurance comes at a price, and the galaxy will not forget the scars humanity left in its wake. As Spectre's ship disappears into the vast unknown, their fate becomes a mystery. Perhaps they will find peace among the stars, or perhaps they will be haunted forever by the ghosts of war. The story ends not with certainty but with a question: Can a species that survived by destruction truly build something lasting? The narrator leaves the audience with a final thought. Humanity's strength lies in its ability to endure, but the future will demand more than survival. It will demand understanding, unity, and the willingness to face the consequences of its actions. In the vast, uncharted frontier of space, the greatest challenges lie ahead, and humanity's story is far from over. The stars burn brightly as the ship vanishes, and the screen fades to black, leaving behind only the hum of the cosmos.